And we want those homes to be in safe neighborhoods. So we will stop the crime. Unbelievable. Violent crime up 50% after 9 years or 10 years of the Trudeau-Carney Liberals' soft on crime laws. C5 allows house arrest for serious convicts. So if you steal a car, you can go and serve your sentence in your living room, watching Netflix or playing Grand Theft Auto. And at any time, you can just walk out the front door and repeat the same crime again, and they do. And then you've got C75, the Liberal Catch and Release Law, which literally says in the law that judges are required to release the accused at the, quote, earliest opportunity under the, quote, least onerous restrictions, even when the accused has been convicted 100 times before. So we're not talking about some poor guy who gets wrongly accused for his first time. We're talking about people who have dozens and dozens of times carried out crime. They're released before the police have even done the paperwork on the arrest. Last night, my wife and I were staying at a hotel here in town, and we could hear siren after siren after siren. Crimes, crimes, and more crimes. You know, it's gotten so bad. I don't know if you heard about the story in Ottawa the other day. Criminal walks up to a guy, points a gun at him, says, "Give me all your money." The guy says, "Wait a sec, do you know who I am? I'm Justin Trudeau." And the criminal said, "Well, in that case, give me all my money." Oh. You know, in Vancouver, they had to arrest the same 40 offenders 6,000 times. That's one arrest per offender every 2 days. And those are just the times they got caught. Man, you got to be working hard to get arrested every 2 days. You got to be up at the crack of dawn to rob a bank, carjacking by noon, selling fentanyl on a street corner by 2 p.m. These guys aren't even unionized. They don't get benefits. They do get room and board. They stay in a place called the Hotel California. They check out, but they never really leave. They just keep going back in and out through that revolving door. And then you've got CE 83, the Liberal law that requires the penal system move the worst criminals into the least restrictive prison conditions. That's why we have Paul Bernardo in a medium security penitentiary enjoying luxuries that many of our veterans cannot even afford to enjoy. Enough is enough. Common sense conservatives will carry out the biggest crackdown on crime in Canadian history. We will stop the crime. We will repeal all those laws, C75, C5, and C83. We will reverse all the liberalization of drugs and guns the Liberals have done. We will bring in tough new laws that make it so that repeat offenders are ineligible for bail, probation, parole, or house arrest. Jail, not bail. Jail, not bail. We will repeal C83, and we will send Paul Bernardo and all mass murderers back to Max Penn, and they will not come out except in a box. And we will stop the drugs that have raged out of control in our streets as China consistently sends the ingredients into our country that manufacture the poisons that kill our people. Let's be clear on what this is. 20 milligrams of fentanyl is enough to kill 10 people. So if you are in possession of that amount of fentanyl for the purpose of trafficking or production, you are a mass murderer. That's what it is. We have lost 50,000 people to fentanyl overdoses in the last decade, more than died fighting for Canada in World War II. And yet, amazingly, Mark Carney says the fentanyl problem is not a crisis. I mean, why would he care? He hasn't been here for most of the time. And he obviously wouldn't want to stand up to China because that's where many of his business interests are. But if he doesn't think that fentanyl is a crisis, then he needs to talk to the families of those 50,000 people. We want those people to know that their loved ones did not die in vain, and that is why we will bring in a hard ban on drugs. We will stop giving out an unsafe supply of opioids. We will secure our borders to stop the drugs from coming in by hiring 2,000 more frontline CBSA officers, giving them control over the entire border entry with surveillance towers and scanners that can interrupt drugs, guns, and stolen cars. And finally, we will invest in treatment and recovery so that we can bring our loved ones home drug-free.